Jimmy McAllister found the net. Goal for Wednesday. Terrific goal by Shayna.
Chris Waddle, is he going to have a crack?
Oh, he does, and it's goal. Still Glenn Wheeler. Aidan Flint works the Is there time for a winner?
Hello and welcome to Wednesday Tie-Dye Podcast. I'm James Mappin. This is the debate show. Lots and lots to talk about tonight. This is the show for you to get it off your chest, have that rant. Maybe you've got a controversial opinion that you want to tell everyone. No opinion is off limits, of course, so we may agree, we may disagree. That's the beauty of football and each other's differing opinions. We're going to be live, as we always are, for around about an hour and a half until 9:30 this evening, so make sure you join us for the full show tonight. If you can't, or you want to listen back to it, then do, go head over to Patreon. Patreon.com/WTID pod is where you need to go. 7-day free trial over there, so you can get the debate show, you can get the preview show, which is coming out tomorrow ahead of the Ipswich game this weekend. We have extra time. Last weekend we did keep, sell or release, went through all the whole of the current squad. Obviously didn't take us very long because there's not that many players, but you can listen to that one as well. There's loads of stuff, so do head over there if you want all of that good stuff. I can see there's already lots of people watching over on YouTube. We've got Adam. Adam says evening. We've got the Yorkshire Militier 8999. That's a bit of a mouthful. We've got Dean. We've got John, Steve, BDI, Smith as well. We've got Nat saying evening all, except Mike Ashley. No thanks, not welcome at my club. Eldano says bet it's Mike. Lee says anyone but Ashley. Adam says Mike Ashley. I'd rather pick Rick Astley. He would never give us up, like we did there, Adam. Like that one. Rob says I'd have Ashley no problem. If he's in it for profit, then he must improve the club to do so. Super Al says hello James. Come off X. We got into a run-in with some person I won't even mention. There we go. Adam says, joking aside, I'd welcome Ashley. Lots of people in the comments. Do keep them all coming in. Of course, if you want to come up and speak, you can do that over on Discord. You can head over there. Just if you find the links on the socials. We are over on Twitter Spaces as well, as we always are every single week. So you know the score over there. Press that request to talk button on the bottom left and I'll bring you up. You can see that Shree's already primed and ready to go. So if anyone else wants to come up, again, press that request to talk button and I'll bring you up as quick as I possibly can. We can talk about who the new owners are potentially going to be. Some fresh developments overnight. Alex Miller dropping the 11:30 update over on X, which we always love to see. We're led to believe, according to Alex, that bids could be submitted as early as today. As we sit down this evening, that may have already happened. If it has, well, we haven't heard anything just yet. I will be checking as we go along to see if anything does come through, but we said that we may know by the end of the week. I hope it's not Friday, because that's my work Christmas do, and I'll be in no fit state to do a emergency podcast, although that would be quite hilarious if I'm 7 or 8 pints deep doing a live stream. But anyway, we'll not mention that. We don't have 3 interested parties. 2 of the names we've known for quite a while. John McEvoy and the Storch family is one of them. Mike Ashley is the second, and the third, the one that we got wind of last week, is that of James Board, the guy that links to our dear neighbours down the road. Myself and Matt told you what we think about those over the weekend. Matt feeling pretty strongly against one of them, I think it's fair to say. But what do you think? Do you have reservations over any of those 3? Are you wanting any of those 3 to become the new owners of Sheffield Wednesday? Please do let us know. Do come up and have your say. We can also talk about Monday night. What an utterly dreadful performance that one was, certainly from our perspective anyway. The United game was bad. I would argue this one was worse. 1-0 down at the break after gifting Derby that opportunity. Second half has to go down as even worse. A further 2 goals conceded, and it could have been more had it not been for Pierce Charles. 3-0 it ended, and the search for a win continues. 14 games now, 14 consecutive games, of course, without a win in the league. Obviously, the one win that we did have was Pompey away, which means we have now eclipsed the run that we had under Cisco Munoz a few seasons ago, which obviously led to him being sacked. So it was 10 games, and then I think it was 1 under Neil Thompson, and then I think 2 or was it the 13th game? I think it was when we beat Rotherham. But yeah, what did you make to that performance on Monday from the players? Henrik Pedersen's also coming under a bit of scrutiny, certainly on the socials. Is that fair? Does he deserve criticism? I think we've spoken about this before, but how long can we go without winning a game before eyes are on him? Do let us know about that. And thirdly, as well, Harry Amass, probably arguably one of the best players that we've got at the club so far. He could potentially be leaving us in January with certainly two clubs sniffing around, 2 championship clubs looking at the 18-year-old. He's made 16 appearances since joining us, just after the start of the season. One of the few standout players as far as I'm concerned. Ruben Amorim made comments earlier in the week to say that he was struggling when he was talking about Harry Amass in a press conference, and there are a number of clubs that are looking to bring him in January. Obviously, remember that Man United effectively gifted Amass to us in the summer, with us not contributing anything towards his wages or accommodation or anything at all whilst he's with us. His deal does run out in January, but obviously we were hopeful that we could extend that deal. As it stands, it looks like he's going to be applying his trade potentially elsewhere after that festive period. So, yeah, how much of a blow is that going to be? We don't have any players as it is, do we? But, yeah, how impressed have you been with Harry Amass so far? I did like that that challenge that he put in on Monday. That was total born out of frustration, did rile up some of the Derby fans, which is always nice to see. But, yeah, I mean, look, he's playing every week, but it can't be great when you're getting beat every week, can it either? And also, I suppose there's an argument for saying he's not really getting pushed, is he? It's his place week in, week out, which I suppose they want him to be playing, but also I guess they want a little bit of competition. But yeah, only time will tell on that one. I can see that James wants to speak as well. We've got Cherie waiting, so do keep your comments coming. I'll come to them in a second, but let's come to Cherie if we can first. Cherie, how's things? You okay?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. How are you, James?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you very much. Thanks for asking. What do you want to talk about this evening, Cherie?
Well, it starts off Monday.
Yeah, it was. It was bad, weren't it, Cherie? It was so bad.
Oh yeah, it was terrible to watch, to be honest.
What was it for you? I mean, was it the performance? Was it? I mean, for me, I think a few players looked like they'd already checked out. I'm sure they'll tell us that they're trying, but what was it for you that was so poor?
That they were just passing the ball back and forth.
Yeah, because the possession, what was it, 60% possession that we had? I think you look at like the amount of touches that we had, passes as well, passes were well up there, but when you look at the touches that we had in the opponent's box, I think it was, I want to say 8, I think it was, so it might have even been less than that in the end. It just wasn't good enough, was it really, to be fair?
No, it wasn't, and it was 60% possession.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, did you think we were going to get anything out of that game? Because I'll be honest, I didn't. I was, obviously we have to be ever the optimist, but if I'm just being purely, if I'm just being real for a second, I think, I went on a Derby pod to do a preview, and they asked me that question, what's the score going to be? And I said, well, my heart is saying that we're going to beat you, but my head is saying it'd probably be 2-1, but it wasn't even anything close like that, was it? A 3-0 hammering in the end.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get anything out of that game. All right, as soon as we went 1-0 down, I might think to myself, right, that's it, we're going to lose, and it happens. Yeah,
we just don't have any players, do we, at the moment? Jan Valerie's off to the African Cup of Nations. Sean Fazer, that was his last game now. He's gone off to the same competition with Zimbabwe as well. So, we're just losing players left, right and centre. I mean, Shalabar come back. George Brown came back as well. Shalabar had an awful well, his first touch wasn't great, was it? But George Brown seemed to do a little bit better, didn't he? When he come on, I know it was a tough ask. I think were we 3-0 down at that point when he came in? But yeah, I mean, are you looking forward to seeing a little bit more of George Brown?
Yeah, I like George Brown.
Yeah, he's all right, isn't he? What do you make to this takeover chat then? You know, it's going on. You know, we're 12 days after that kind of soft deadline that they put in place, but sounds like something might be happening in these next couple of days.
Well, it's good that something might be finally happening because it just seems to be going on for quite a while.
It'd be a nice little early Christmas present, won't it, if something happens? I don't think the owners will be in by then, but certainly something to look forward to, I guess. Do any of the names, you know, out of the 3 names that have been mentioned, do you like any of them, or you're not really that particularly bothered? I mean, it's James McEvoy, or is it John McEvoy? Sorry. Then we've got obviously the Storch family included in that. Then we've got Mike Ashley as well, and then James Board, the one that's linked with Sheffield United as well. Which out of those 3, which one would be your number 1?
Definitely not James Board.
Is that because he's linked with them down the road?
Correct.
Yeah. What about the other 2? If you had to pick, would you mind if it was Mike Ashley?
I wouldn't mind. I just want someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I'll put this question out to everyone really that's listening as well. What's I'll read some of the ones that I put out on Discord earlier today. Some people got involved. I asked the question, Cherie, what's the minimum that you would accept from the new owner? You know, in order for it to be a success, in order for it to, you know, for you to think that they're an okay or a good owner, what's the minimum that you want from these from the new owners that do come in?
To be honest, James, I'm not really sure.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I will read. Let me read some of them out that we had, Cherie. Yeah, let me just find where that is. Let me have a quick look. Just scroll. There's so many of them. Right. Let's. Dill says, not sure if I'm expecting too much, but he says someone that understands Wednesday and the culture of Sheffield. No lies, he wants transparency. And he says a sort of silent owner that just hires a good footballing board and just leaves it to them. And then finally he wants hot water as well, which I think we all do, certainly on the North Stand. Sup says a transparent 5 to 10 year plan. He says he hates the word, but a vision. Major modernisation, upgrades to the stadium, brand new training facility, and a recruitment policy. Leo just says the absolute minimum is that they give a toss about us fans as well. Yeah, I think, again, people do get involved in the comments. Do let us know what your minimum would be. Cherie, is there anything else you want to talk about at all?
Saturday's game.
Yes. Ipswich Town at Ipswich as well. I wasn't expecting much on Monday against Derby.
No.
I'm not expecting anything at all from this game. Just a bit of effort, I think, would go a long way, to be fair.
Yeah, it would. And I don't understand why the Derby fans were singing about our old owner on Monday night.
I think they sang more about us than they did about themselves, to be fair, on Monday. It's amazing how it's amazing how they obviously hate us, but they're pretty irrelevant as far as I'm concerned. So I don't really get the rivalry, to be honest. But anyway,
no, I don't. And obviously, I like how we've got to support Blackburn Rovers with them having ownership problems.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, they've called. I think they're boycotting the Watford game. I think it is at the end of January.
Yeah.
But obviously, we've got to go back there again. I think that's a couple of weeks out. I think that's the first. Is it the first game in February? I think when we go there.
7th time.
Yeah, we go there for that rearranged fixture, of course. So yeah, you never know. We might have some extra players by then as well, and we might actually be able.
Can I just say one more thing, James?
Of course, you can, Cherie. Yeah.
I know it's hard this season, obviously, but at home we need to get behind them boys best we can for the full 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's been pretty flat, hasn't it, Cherie, recently? And
it has.
I took a photo on Monday. It was probably around about the 75th minute mark, and there was hardly anyone there. Like I think it was just after the third goal went in, whenever that was, and yeah, everyone rushed to the exits. Everyone had enough, and yeah, there weren't many people left at all, were there? It's so difficult though, Sheree, innit? It's really difficult to keep chanting, to keep cheering when, just on Monday, it was so bad, it was so poor, and I know they're not good enough, and I know there's a reason why we're there, and I know they're being, I know they're just being overworked, but when you're just seeing a distinct lack of effort, it's so difficult. It's cold, it's wet, it's miserable. And then there's the weather as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and obviously I sit on the grandstand, and some people behind me, I think it was in the second half and went 3-0 down. They went early.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot around me. Like I said, it was that third goal. When that third goal went in, everyone just stood up.
Honestly, I've never seen it empty out so quick.
Yeah, it is.
But I stayed till full time anyway.
Yeah, I was there to the bitter end, just FOMO. I was, not that we were going to come back from 3-0 down, but you never know what might happen.
I stayed till full time and applauded them off at the end.
Yeah, I thought it was nice when Harry Amass got a bit of a standing ovation from those that were left when he came off, because I think, he obviously, reacting to the comments that his manager makes as well when he kind of singled him out.
Saying he's struggling at Sheffield Wednesday. Come on, he's just won Player of the Month for November.
Yeah, I didn't really get that comment. I know some people are saying it's been taken out of context and stuff, but just because Sheffield Wednesday
I hope he doesn't go. I hope he doesn't go because I like him.
Yeah, well, clearly, if other clubs are looking at him, I get it as well. Like for his development, he wants to be in a he's going to play better in a better side. So if he can play higher up in the Championship, then yeah, he's
I get what you mean, James. But if he's got any sense, he would stay with us.
Do you know what? It might not be his decision, Sheree. I think that decision could be taken out of his hands.
True. It might not be his decision. Yeah.
His agent or Man United. They have people at the club that just specifically look at loans, and that's what their job is to manage the players that are out on loan. And if they think his development could be better elsewhere, I mean, look, we're not even paying anything for him, are we? So it's not like it's he could literally go anywhere. I'm sure anyone, having seen what he's done at Sheffield Wednesday so far this season, anyone would take him. But yeah, we'll just have to.
And Olaf is going to be back after Christmas.
Yeah, he's another one that yes, he's back, but flattered to deceive as far as I'm concerned. Yes, it's another body, and I know people keep talking about, let's play this lad and let's play this youngster and whatever. Like, the solution to the problem is always the players that aren't playing. But then when they do play, are they going to be up to standard? I think all I want is just a bit of effort. Sheree, thanks for coming on. Is there anything else you want to say at all?
Obviously, like I said, we need to keep getting behind the boys best we can, and obviously just keep going with the squad we've got. Yeah,
great point. Score prediction for Saturday? Are you going to give him one, Sheree?
Oh, do I have to?
You don't have to if you don't want to. Look, I can't see us getting a win. A draw would be an absolute miracle if we can do that.
Okay, but I'll give a score prediction. It's fine. I'll do it.
Go on then.
I'll probably say 1-1.
1-1. I would take that any day of the week. Certainly on Saturday, come 5 o'clock. Sheree, massive thanks for coming on. Do really appreciate it as always.
Have a nice Christmas.
I will do. Yes, thank you very much. Yeah, this will be the last. I'm not doing one on Christmas Eve. Maybe on the Tuesday. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But Sheree, thanks.
Have a nice Christmas anyway.
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks for coming on. If anyone else wants to come on, feel free to do so. Press that request to talk button. We haven't got any queue at the moment. I'm just going to go through some of the comments then, and I'm just going to give my thoughts on Monday's game as well. Big Rev says, get bored, gone. Mark says, if anyone dropped out, you'd all be begging Ashley to come in and buy us. Do you know what? I've seen a lot of comments on this and stuff. And yeah, whilst we are in administration and we are looking for a buyer and things like that, and people saying beggars can't be choosers and things. Yeah, but you can also have standards, and you can also have you can also say, I wouldn't like that person to be the next owner. You know, if for example, let's say that our previous owner, say he was the owner of, I don't know, let's just use another club, Stoke City, let's just say, and you've seen everything that happens there, and then that person is then trying to buy your club, would you just go, oh, we need someone to buy us? Like, come on. Like, you wouldn't, would you? Having heard how bad it was before, and if there's some red flags, I think you're well within your right to say, look, I'd rather not have that one. I mean, ultimately, I don't think we're going to have much of an influence over it. Maybe these people are going to, check the temperature out on the socials and stuff and see what some fans are thinking. Maybe that's why we've heard some of these names come out. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to leak their name and then see what the reaction is from the fan base. I don't know. But ultimately, whether I want Mike Ashley or not, I don't think it's going to really make much of a difference. If he wants to buy us, he will buy us, and then that is it. So, but we can still have an opinion, of course. Steve said, nice piece, what Matt did on Ashley on Extra Time the other day. It wasn't on Extra Time. That's available for everyone to listen to. That was on the main podcast, that one. So, do go and have a listen to what Matt said. He was talking a lot about the stuff at Rangers, which isn't as easily found. Obviously, he wasn't the owner at Rangers. He was a minority shareholder. I want to say that he did he have 7 or 8% shares in Rangers, but it was a lot to do with like the commercial side and the merchandising and things like that. So yeah, do give that a watch. Not now, of course, because you're watching this one, but tomorrow morning or something like that. It's about 20 minutes long, I think. I've clipped it up so you can just listen to that piece, or you can listen to the whole podcast, of course, which would be nice. Jordan says, just subscribe to the channel. Don't know why I didn't do this earlier. Jordan, thank you very much. Do really appreciate it. Every single one of you that subscribes and listens and everything else. Big Rev says, is the yellow gold tie coming out on the emergency takeover? No, that is purely for transfers. That one, Big Revs. I have got the American flag, which, if it is the American owner, I will get the American flag out, definitely. Simon says, the worst away fans so far this season. Do you know what? I was genuinely angry. I think they proper got under my skin, which is, I suppose, what they wanted to do. But, yeah, I think it was a mixture of the performance and them taking the piss out of us. It was horrible. Sibon says, no matter who we get, it's all going to be new territory for us all. Jimmy, Ashley will bleed us dry like he did to the Newcastle fans. I mean, just on that, I know obviously Matt had his opinion, and he said that, he said it privately to me as well, that, and I think he said it on the pod as well, he doesn't want Mike Ashley to be the owner, and he would have to seriously consider coming back to Hillsborough if he was there and stuff. And for me, I'm not as perhaps militant as what he is in terms of my my thoughts on Mike Ashley. I don't think, because we're not as big of a club, and I don't think he can. What can he bleed dry? He'd have to make something in order to take it out. Like, there's literally nothing there to take out whatsoever. And I just feel, for me, when we were talking about kind of what's the minimum that you want, I just want an infrastructure in place, just general improvements around the place, and a bit of a feel-good factor, and just kind of put us on level footing with some of the other Championship clubs. First of all, get us back there, and then just have us as a normal Championship club. You don't have to talk about all this crap all the time, which is just so frustrating. I've got Peter that wants to speak. Peter, I'll come to you in a second, but thank you very much for jumping up. Nat says, Henrik doesn't deserve any complaints. He has done well under the difficult circumstances. Yeah, but Nat, it's 14 games now without a win. 2 shots on target we've had in the last 2 games. All right, we drew with Watford, but I think we've had 40-odd shots against us in those 2 games. We had 60% possession, but did absolutely nothing with it. People are pointing fingers at Henrik Pedersen. Jordan says, who would you take to take us over? Who would I want to take us over? Out of those 3, I think if you had to choose, it would be the McEvoy one. More people is probably a benefit, I think, given that we've had a one-person owner last time. So, a bit of a consortium. I don't really mind that. He has got, dealings in sport as well, which I think is a bonus. Yeah. Apologies. Still got this little cough that I just can't shake away. But, I would pick them. I think there is some red flags with Ashley. I'd rather not, test my theory. I'd rather not, test it out. But, yeah, I think it's not the big multi-billion, I don't know, £100 billion owner that we thought we might be getting. But yeah, I'd have the McEvoy bid over anyone else. Right, let's come to Peter, and I'll come to some. I've seen these loads of comments. I'll come to them in a second. Peter, how's things, mate? You all right?
Yeah, all good. Thanks, pal. Are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you very much. Like I said, it's things could be happening, which I was thinking. I was getting a bit worried how nothing was happening, but yeah, it looks like we could be having some news on the horizon.
Yeah, it could be the best or the worst Christmas present ever. Who knows, eh? Who knows?
Yeah. What's your thoughts on the three?
I'm not keen on the James Board situation.
For what reason?
I'm not into this AI stuff. I don't buy into that, and I'm led to, from what bits I've read and what bits I've picked up, I'm led to believe that's what he's all about.
Yeah.
I'd sooner go on what I see or what the scouts see with their own eyes. No, not for me. I'm probably going to side with what you said in terms of the McEvoy-Storch partnership, strength in numbers and all that. But I don't know much about them, to be honest. And
well, that's kind of an argument that people are saying about the Mike Ashley stuff, that people have an opinion on him because there is information out there for people to have an opinion on. Whereas the McEvoy and the Storch one, there's not much out there, really. I don't know any Colorado Rockies fans that I can perhaps talk to, but, you look at them.
Well, they're a baseball or a basketball team, James.
NHL, ice hockey.
Okay. Oh, wrong twice.
I think Colorado, I think I'm right in saying that. Is it the Colorado Rockies? Colorado Rockies. Sorry, apologies. They are the baseball side.
Oh, they're right. Okay.
Who's the other one? Is it Raptors or something? Or I've no idea. Raptors? Is it Raptors? No, it might not. Toronto? Is it Toronto Raptors? Not got a clue. Anyway, no. It's an NHL side as well that he owns. But for me, he's involved in sport. I mean, both of those clubs are bottom of their respective leagues, so hopefully he can do a little bit better with football.
He just wants the bottom of the league football team to go with it to make his setup. No, the reason I popped along to after the Monday night derby debacle.
Nashville Predators, it is, Peter.
Is it?
Nashville Predators.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I jumped straight back on the horse and went down to Middlewood Road Tuesday afternoon and lunchtime afternoon and watched the first half of the under-21s against Fleetwood. And lo and behold, Mr. Watmore was playing up front, Duncan Watmore.
Yeah, I saw that actually. Yeah, you wasn't too enamoured by him, were you?
No, very underwhelmed. Please don't get your hopes up. He is not the Messiah. He is not the white. He's not a knight in shining armour riding down Harry's Road. He is not the one. He is no different to what we've already got.
He'll fit right in then, mate. If he
yeah, he will. Yeah, I'll tick a few boxes. What I will say, I'm not blaming, and I'm a big one, as I've said before, about giving the kids a chance to a degree. I was very pleasantly surprised by I've seen him before actually. The big lad up front, Devlin Moses.
Okay.
Who's come back from a recent shoulder injury, and I was impressed several times with a lad on the wing, Favour on Kawuli.
Favour on Kawuli, yeah.
Yeah. He's rapid. He's got pace.
That's something we haven't got, is it, in it, Peter?
No. I'd liken him. I would, and I'm not having a pop at him here. I would say he's a fat Jermaine Johnson.
All right, okay.
In the nicest possible way. He's got pace. He's certainly not frightened to take a man on. something different. I'm happy to see any of the kids up giving a go.
That's my worry, Peter, is that when you look at the side that we've got, we don't have all the pieces to the puzzle in terms of what I mean by that is we play the lone striker, we haven't got a target man. We play, let's just play down the wings. We haven't got any pace. Like we whichever way we try. I know there's not just two ways to play, but you get the point. Like whichever way we try to play, we haven't got an enforcer in the middle of the park that can even like a Will Volks type character, that can actually get stuck in, but also can dictate the play a little bit. We haven't got anyone like that, so we fall down on kind of whichever way we try to play the game of football, whichever formation we pick, whichever style of play. We just don't have all the right people in the places. We were pumping the ball up to Cads on Monday. I think he won one header. Well, he says he won one header. I didn't see it if he did. Like that. Do you know what I mean? Literally nothing stuck at all, did it?
No, and it's never easy playing on your own up top. And he's a young kid learning his trade. He's playing against Matt Clark, who was like 6 foot, whatever he is, 6'3", 6'4". The other kid was quick and he was quite tall as well. It's a thankless task for him to try to receive the ball, hold it up, and he couldn't even do it. He struggled on Monday to do that. So and then he tried a bit of a stop and a stop turn or whatever he was trying to do, and he fell flat on his face, and he ended up looking a bit of a chump, and I felt sorry for the kid because he has really, really tried, and he's had two or three decent chances these last few weeks, and he's not scored any. So the focus is going to be undoubtedly on him. I think, sadly for him, I think George Brown walks in the side on Saturday. I really do.
Yeah. If he's fit enough.
He didn't look unfit, did he, on Monday night?
He didn't know, but we know that...
I know playing 90 minutes is completely different coming on for the last 15, 20. I know that, but
he might come off. He might start and play 60. You know what I mean, and come play an hour and come off and or something like that. But I do agree. Like, I've not seen much of Kadamatre. We don't see anything of Ike Ugbo. Don't get me started on Jamal Lowe because he talked about Duncan Watmore being underwhelming. I think Jamal Lowe is probably one of the most underwhelming signings that we've ever made. To be honest, he came certainly for me anyway with a bit of.
He's had a fair run these last few weeks as well, James, hasn't he? He's had a good crack at it in the side.
Yeah, but he's just when we signed him, he played that first game against Plymouth, and when we signed him, I thought, we got a player here, and he scored that. Did he get 2 goals in that game against Plymouth? And I thought, wow, what a player here. And then he's just literally done nothing since. And I mentioned it at the weekend. There was a goal that he scored against Cardiff that popped up on the socials, and then I've not seen that. I haven't seen that pace, that kind of running at defenders and frightening defenders. I've not seen any of that whatsoever. There was a moment on Monday where the ball's bouncing in our box, and he's just stood there looking at it, and I'm like, "What you do? Like, get rid." Control it, swing a foot at it, just get it out whichever way you can, and I feel like he's checked out big time. That's my own personal opinion. And again, I know the players will tell you otherwise, but I can't help but give my opinion on certain players, and he's one that is just I don't think he's I don't know. I get that they've gone through a lot. I think he's at the wrong time of his career. I think he thinks or thought that this was perhaps his little retirement home, maybe his last payday or something. Not too sure.
I want us to try a different approach, a different look at the game, and try something. Just try something. So I put a comment on Twitter today, and I got a couple of people jumped on me straight away saying the kids were too young and stuff like that. And I said, well, I'm fed up of seeing this passing about at the back, sideways, backwards. So
I must agree, Peter. I think we can keep saying play the kids, but there must be a reason why they're not playing.
I'm not saying play all the kids. I'm saying give more of them a chance. The young lad Jarvis Thornton. You're still allowed to be on the bench for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 matches, probably more. And I just want there's got to come a time when they're going to be needed. And Saturday might be the wrong time, but when is the right time? Because after this Saturday against Ipswich, it's Hull City on Boxing Day. That's a massive game because they're in the playoff position, and it's every game you could say is a big game. You could argue it's men against boys, but
Yeah.
you know we didn't say that when Ernie Weaver and George Brown started at Portsmouth, and we won there.
Yeah, one thing I would say though as well, Peter, is I didn't see any effort on Monday.
No, me neither.
I didn't see anyone really trying. I know I've kind of singled out Jamal though, but he wasn't the only one. They had 2 or 3 kind of 3-on-2 situations, and when you're playing 3 at the back, I'm thinking, has that happened? There were a lot of not tracking back and stuff, and it was only at the end, but even then it wasn't really trying. It was just kicking lumps out of them because they were getting frustrated and angry, and they were doing the ole and stuff like that, and it really got to them. That was probably the biggest cheer that we saw at Hillsborough from our perspective. But I suppose when you talk about playing the kids, one thing that you would get is effort, because that's the only thing that they're gonna. That's the one thing that they can give you. And for me, I'm all right with that. I know we're going to lose more games than we're certainly going to win, but we're going to lose more games than we're going to win or draw from now until the end of the season. But I just want to see a bit of effort. You know, if we lose 1-0,
that's what I want. I want to see that same passion and commitment from anybody who pulls a shirt and anybody who's lucky enough to be selected for the squad. You know, to be 1 to 11 or even on the bench. I want to see that player bust a go. I want to see him try. And if he's not up to it, if he's not good enough, then great. But at least let's see a bit. The least we can expect supporters who's paying our season ticket money, as money for the pies, the programmes, as travel, as transport, whatever it is, buying the shirts, the merchandise. The least we expect is 110% effort.
Because we've got no to lose, have we, Peter? Like literally,
no, absolutely nothing.
I know. Sorry, Pete. I know he's going to come out and he's going to say, like, you know, we're going to try and get as many points as we can. It's not, not mathematically, until it's mathematically impossible. Then we're going to keep trying. Bullshit. Like, we're relegated. Like, you don't need. You're not trying to kid anyone. Do you know what I mean? Everyone knows the situation. The players also know the situation.
Yeah.
Like
this situation will never happen again. Will rarely happen again in the history of football. It is a total free hit with capital FR and double E underlined 25 times. It will never happen again because we're up. All the fans have realised. Now that we're gone, we're sunk, we're playing League One football next year. And, we're not going to boo the players. The only way we'll boo the players and jeer at them is when they stop trying, when they stop giving 100%. Because no fan can condone that. Because they're in a privileged position to have been selected for our team that we all support.
Yeah, quickly, Peter, because I've got Ryan waiting.
Sorry.
It's all right. I've got Ryan and Matt waiting as well. But what I suppose when you look at the players that are going out there, and you said, like, you just want to give 110% and stuff. I suppose what is that the minimum that what you're looking for is just a bit of effort, or
all I can expect at the minute is 110% effort, and then hopefully we'll get a bit of luck in. We're not getting any luck at the moment. A bit of luck will come our way. We have to have tactics. We have to have. We have this ridiculous. I mean, I saw a stat the other night: 102 corners, no goals. Well, I've got this, but we both know, James, it's far worse stat than that. We must have had 2,000 long throw-ins from Svante Ingelsson, and that's got a big fucking zero behind it as well. We don't even get a flick on.
We need to knock that on head. Like, it's absolutely pointless.
Ridiculous.
It takes that lot. I mean, I suppose it's a good wasting time tactic.
The last defender who won a header in the box for us was Michael Ihekwe, and he used to do it on a regular basis because that guy could head a ball. But for whatever reason, I often never wins a ball in the box. Iofa and Cooper is the worst centre back partnership that I can remember. They're both slow. 7 or 8 years ago, great partnership.
I think Iofa's still turning actually from that first goal. I think he's still actually turning round.
He's not. I hate having to come on to slag him because I want to be. I want to be optimistic. I want to be thinking, we need 26 points to stay up and stuff like that. But I walked out on 80 minutes. I felt like physically sick, and I don't very often walk out early. I very rarely walk out early. Silly Peter was on the phone at 9:05 online this morning at 9:05, booking me chuffing Preston tickets like an idiot. I can't get enough of it. It's like an addiction.
Yeah, actually, I'll ask you this question, Peter. Why do you good at football? Why do you still follow Sheffield Wednesday? I think I asked you this last week. Actually, didn't I, to be fair, what is it? What is it for you? Because I was asking this.
It's part of me. The answer to that is it's part of me. It's part of who I am. I'm sat in my living room now, and I'm looking at every picture in my living room, and I've got about 15 or 16 is Sheffield Wednesday related, because these are, believe it or not, these are the best memories of my life, other than the birth of my son. But these are the best memories of my life, and now my son's involved. He's getting into it as well, and you know that Alfie comes with me every week, home and away, and it's what we do together on a Saturday. It's part of our relationship, part of us growing up. And I'm not just the only one, because there's families, there's daughters, there's sons who go with their parents as well, and it's how we do, and it's the same faces I see every week at the away games, and that's why we all do it, because we love the club.
Yeah.
But I think there's some of the players just don't get that.
It's just a job for some of them, isn't it, really? And
it is.
I think
it is, James.
I think when in these situations, you've got to take it differently. I think, to be fair, Peter.
Sorry, just one final point. What's so sad is that 2 weeks ago, I think I came on and said I actually really enjoyed the Preston game. The first time for a long time, I really, really enjoyed it. I felt like Wednesday's back here, and the week after, that's all gone again.
I said when I said I brought one of my work colleagues to the match on Monday. I wish I'd not, to be fair. I felt sorry for him watching that.
Yeah.
But I said to him, like, one of the things for me is just that kind of dopamine hit you get when the goal goes in and you jump up and you celebrate. That's for me is I'm just longing for that. I mean, it's ironic that we had many of them at home, have we, this season?
Well, watching Wednesday this year is like coming home after you've done a 12-hour shift and she's in bed with next door neighbour. That's you're absolutely you work your nuts off all week, 45, 50 hours, 60 hours, some of us. And you buzz. I'm buzzing for Ipswich on Saturday to catch that train at 10 o'clock in the morning. I can't wait. Absolutely buzzing for it. But I know full well it could be 0-6, 0-7, 0-8, and George Yates will probably get an hat-trick.
Yeah, you're probably right, to be fair. Peter, massive thanks for coming on, pal. I do appreciate it. I might come to you a little bit later. We'll see, how we go on. But thanks for jumping on. I'm going to come to Matt next, who's over on Discord. Ryan, I can see you there. I'll come to you in a second. Matt, get yourself ready. I'm just going to read some of the comments out if we can, and then I'll come to you. Joel says, me personally, if we keep saying it's not good for the kids to be chucked in, does Amass not fit into that category? Well, no, Joel, because I think, Amass has already played for Man United already in his career so far, but we're asking kids who have not played in the Championship whatsoever. They've played in the League Cup, 3 times against Bolton, Grimsby and Leeds, to then suddenly, step into the Championship. I don't think it's not a case of their age or anything like that. It's just whether they're good enough, I think, is what the question is. And they're not lighting it up in the under 21s. What is it, under 21s, under 23s at the moment? Clearly, Henrik doesn't want to put them on for whatever reason. Andrew says we need to change formation and use Amass as a winger. That'll come down to Man United say on that one, I think, given that we don't pay anything towards him. If he has to play as a wing back, he's playing as a wing back. I don't know that for certain. That's just my hunch. Steve says when the new owners come in, Henrik Pedersen will be gone. I understand he's working in an absolute shit show, but he's not doing himself any favours. I agree with that one as well. I think nothing against the man, but I think when the new owners come in, I don't think they'll make the change straight away. I think they'll wait until about 4 or 5 games before the end of the season. The new manager will come in at that point. We can have a bit of a, see who he is, and then get ready for the new season. There's no point in changing it before because he's not a miracle worker, is he? We're not Harry, unless we bring Harry Potter in. I still don't think he could change our fortunes around. To be fair, then you're just starting on a bad footing, aren't you? Really, look at what Darren Moore did. He came in, struggled, and then people still, to this day, blame him for us not surviving in the Championship that season that Darren Moore came in. So it will be exactly the same. Matt Potter says it's not the scoreline that concerns me, but the fact that we hardly take any shots, and shots on target you can count on one hand, which has been the case for most, if not all, of the season. It wasn't a bad thing earlier on in the season, but certainly recently we're just not taking any shots whatsoever. Matt David, who we're going to be speaking to in a second, says Max Lowe was useless at Derby. I think they all had a bit of an off day, didn't they, really, on Monday. Dean says, whoever we get, they have got to be better than the last owner. Yep, I totally agree with that one. Big Dog says he wants the ground renovated, a squad built with a future in mind, and a clear future model in place. Liam says it's more the manner in how we lose games, in particular at home. 5 out of the 11 we've lost by 3 or more goals. Yes, I was looking at that stat as well. I think we haven't conceded 3 goals or more in, I think, 9 games this season, which is just, you're doing yourself absolutely no favours in that. Joel says if we play like we did against Derby, it'll be another 6 for Ipswich. That is my concern. Big Dog, thanks for the super chat. Do really appreciate it. That was a bit earlier on, so apologies for missing that one. Nat says Bannon has provided more crosses into the opposition danger areas than any of the Championship players so far this season. To what outcome? Embarrassing. We've got nobody to aim for. Who is he aiming for? He's looking for Jamal, though, that I think's never headed a ball in his life. Bailey Cadamartri, who he's struggling, and then Charlie McNeil. And then other than that, who else are we looking to hit with a cross? You've either got to be quick and get your cross in early and then running onto it to get a strike on goal. But if you're doing it from a standing position and everyone's in place, I back the defenders to win the ball probably 99 times out of 100, to be honest. Right, let's see if Matt's ready. Matt, do you want to unmute yourself and we'll give this a bash. Hopefully people on YouTube can hear. Matt, are you there? You want to just press that unmute button? Matt, have you? Matt, why are you trying to figure out how to unmute yourself? I'll just keep reading some of these comments, and then I'll come back to you in a second. Joel says I think he believes he can keep us up, obviously in reference to Henrik Pedersen. Maybe he does. Maybe he does actually think that's the case. Right, let me see. Matt, can you speak now? Are you there, Matt? Yes, I can hear you, Matt. How's things, mate? You all right? Yes, I'm fine, thank you very much. What do you want to talk about, Matt? Do you want to talk about who the new owners might be? Do you want to talk about do you want to talk about the Derby game? What is it you want to have a chat about? It's not great at all, is it? It's people are saying can't hear on YouTube, so apologies. Matt, are you on Twitter? Are you on X? All right, okay. We'll It's not your fault. It's my fault. I will sort it. I thought I sorted it, but anyway, it's not clearly not coming through. Head over to X, click on our profile picture. It'll be a purple circle. Click join space, and then on the bottom left it says request to speak, like a little microphone, and then I'll bring you on, and we'll have a chat over there, and it should all work. So, and I'll bring you back up. Matt, thanks for coming on, pal. Like I said, do that, and I'll speak to you over there. Let's see if Ryan is available. Ryan, are you there? Do you want to mute yourself, and we'll have a chat? Whilst Ryan's frantically trying to find out where that button is, I'll get him to sort it out. I've seen everyone in the chat. Mad echo. Apologies. I'm trying to get it working. That echo should have gone now. So tech issues. Yeah. To introduce a bit of new stuff, and it all goes horribly wrong. It looks like Ryan's there. Ryan, how are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good stuff. Good stuff, Ryan. What do you want to talk about, mate?
I didn't have accidentally pressed a button to speak, but I was just listening in, to be honest.
No problems, mate. Well, we can have a chat. Like, was you there on Monday, or did you watch the game on Monday against Derby?
To be honest, I'm a season ticket holder, but due to the weather, I didn't bother going. Monday, I watched it at home.
Yeah, well, do you know what? There's a lot of people in that same situation, Ryan, to be fair. And is that just... Look, I don't think it makes you any less of a fan to make that decision. Because, I mean, look, it was a really tough watch, weren't it, Ryan? Like, it was such a poor performance. And yeah, it's just... I think there's a lot of people in the same boat as you. Monday night, got home from work, can't really be asked to come. Because you know what the outcome's going to be, don't you?
Yeah, to be honest, it's parking as well, and I don't like to drive to a game because parking can be a nightmare, so I'd rather midweek games, especially if weather's not great, watch the game at home. And then, I think, to be honest, as a team at the moment, we've got probably 4 or 5 players every week that I think put the effort in, give 110%, but then I think a lot of the senior players let us down, if I'm honest. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, what? Who in particular are you looking at when you say that?
Well, when they play, Jamal Lowe, Chalabar, when he plays, he's not played much lately, to be honest. Obviously, Ugbo, Iofa sometimes turns up, sometimes he doesn't. I think the younger players, likes of, I know Kadamachu's not. He's obviously not on firing cylinders or anything like that, but he does put effort in. Amass has got a good work rate. I think the younger players tend to try hard. I think it's some of the senior players that were maybe fringe players last season.
Yeah. Do you think that goodwill that the players perhaps had at the start of the season through the fact that we weren't getting paid and stuff like that? Do you think that goodwill's kind of gone now for many fans? It's like, it was almost like a bit of a taboo subject talking about the players and digging them out a bit, but it seems more a bit of a common occurrence now, myself included. I mean, I always say on the podcast on a weekend, on a Sunday night, we're just going to call it for what it is. I don't want to keep having to say, oh yeah, but these excuses. I just call it out as a game of football, 11 men against 11 men, and if they're not good enough, I'll say why they're not good enough. But I think. Now we're seeing a lot more criticism about the players, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we know that a lot of the players were fringe players last season, so we know the quality's not great. We know if all the fringe players started every game, we'd get relegated. So, we've probably got 4 players from last season that would be first team players, and you'd probably say a couple of those are injured. I mean, obviously Deschamps Bernard's been injured for forever, and he would be first name on team sheet at centre back. Don't think, obviously we've got no centre backs, to be honest, which doesn't help us. We're playing 4 or 5 full backs every game in Amass, Iofa, Valerie in midfield, who's a right back. We're playing Fusery at wing back, who's actually a centre midfielder that played 7 games for Carlisle last season. So it's expected, to be honest. I think we're struggling middle at park against good teams that put us under pressure. Defensively, I think Iofa has an odd good game, and then he seems to get caught out sort of daydreaming, and he's gets quite flat-footed. We don't look like we're going to score in a football match, but we're not creating any good clear-cut chances neither.
No, you're right. Ryan, people are saying you sound like Chris Wigfield. And I must admit, when you first came on, Ryan, I did think, I had to look at your name and go, no, his name's Ryan, not Chris. I did think for a second that it was him, to be fair. Have you had that one? Have you had that one recently, that you sound like Chris Wigfield?
Never, but I wish I had Chris's bank account.
Well, yeah, I suppose now, but certainly when all this is over, he's set to get quite a few quid, I guess. Just on that, Ryan, out of the three names that have been mentioned, obviously we've got John McEvoy and the Storch family. We've got Mike Ashley, and then this new one, James Board, and his kind of merry men that he's perhaps put together. Which is the one out of the three that you would go for?
It's a big question.
Or is it none of them, Ryan? Are you just...
Well, obviously I don't know much about Board. But from what I have looked up, I can't really see much about him, so I'm not sure about him, to be honest. We know Mike Ashley. We know what he's done at Newcastle. Obviously, you had your partner in crime on other night regarding his antics with his cut on the wage, on the merchandise and stuff, which I found quite alarming. And McEvoy and Storch, again, at least they've got the part shareholders of a couple of franchises in America. It might get us some maybe sponsorships or marketing that might help us financially. So maybe probably go with them.
Yeah. I mean, I think none of them are really making me get excited, and I think that's partly down to perhaps some of the names that have been mentioned before. I know Rob Staten likes to hammer this one home as far as he can, in terms of talking about all the ITK accounts and stuff and all the names that have been mentioned. And I must admit, initially I kind of lent right into it, and I got I did start to dream and believe, and silly really, because I think deep down we probably all knew that we're not. Why would these multi-billionaires look at Sheffield Wednesday? Like they just wouldn't do that, really. Like they would be looking at the clubs in the Premier League already. If you've got that much money, why would you take a risk? I mean, I suppose the argument to that would be, well, look at Wrexham maybe, but we're not a Wrexham, and we're not a Premier League side either. We're just kind of in the middle, really, I guess.
I think Wrexham, they've got an opportunity with Wrexham being the only club in North Wales, so they can get support from all of that northern area of Wales. Really, they've got there's quite a lot of towns and cities that might commute. So there's room for expansion at Wrexham. And the Netflix and whatever else is obviously going to have a big input for them. With us, we've got a ground that needs tens of millions of pounds spending on it. We've got a squad that needs completely rebuilding, especially all the out-of-contract players next season. It's going to need a lot of money for someone to invest in us. I'm surprised, if these sort of investors aren't interested in looking at clubs that have got, a better setup, a better ground. Like I know we've heard Mike Ashley about Derby County, but Derby County, they get generally good attendances. They've got a better stadium, probably got better trading facilities. So I'll wait till the fat lady's singing, if you like, before it happens, to be honest.
Yeah, no problems. Ryan, thanks for coming on, pal. Really do appreciate it. First time jumping on, even if it was an accident, Ryan. But you spoke very well. So yeah, do come up next time, mate. I've enjoyed that little chat. Cheers for that, pal. I'm gonna bring Matt up again in a second, because he's worked out how to use Twitter Spaces, so we'll bring him up. Yeah, Andrew said, with a team that bad, I don't see how you can judge Pedersen. Yeah, there is that element, I suppose, but it's a lot of defeats in a row. It's a lot of games without a win. It's a lot of we seem to be going backwards, I suppose, and yeah, not much is not much is changing. I suppose the argument to that would be, what can he change? He hasn't got a bench to change or anything like that. Adam says, give Henrik 3 months with a decent squad. For me, I think it's just that losing mentality. I think I thank him for coming in and doing what he's done. He perhaps didn't realise how big the job was, I guess. He was probably thinking, well, I've had most of these players last season. But yeah, clearly all those players that left have obviously made a huge impact, negatively, of course. Right, let's come to Matt then, who's joined us over on X Spaces. Matt, mate, are you there?
I did it. I'm there. I'm sorted.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Yeah, where were we? I can't remember what we were talking about. We were talking about the Derby game, weren't we?
Yeah, like I was saying, they just look like shells of people at the minute, and I get it. I do. They know the League One. They know they haven't got a chance, and I know they're gonna get battered every week. But put a shift in. Put a bit of passion into your tackle. Put something in to give the crowd. The crowd know we're gonna lose. But come on, put that shirt on and show us something.
I have to agree with you there, Matt. I think we just have to have something to get behind. I think a lot of people were talking about the attendance, and I know Ryan didn't go, season ticket holder didn't go on Monday, but I suppose if you just saw something about him, or I mean, we're trying to sell more tickets, Matt. We're trying to get more people into the ground. We're trying to get, there was an email the other day about half-season tickets and stuff. Well, I'm not being funny. If you've not already a season ticket holder, when you look at those performances and you look at the manner in which we're losing games, you're not going to go out there and spend, however much it's going to be, £20-25 on a ticket for. I mean, I suppose people might buy a ticket for the whole game purely because it's Boxing Day and it's in the festive period. But some of the others, I can just see people staying at home, Matt, and not bothering going.
I didn't go myself. I can't go at the minute because I suffer with mental health issues and my mobility is second. It's gone. It's done. But I had more fun. I watched it, but I had more fun at dentist today getting my tooth took out.
that says something, Matt. That is, yeah.
I'm not even lying.
I must admit it was a tough watch. I think the first 10 or 15 minutes were okay. But I think that was only because it was 0-0, and
knocking it about the back,
and Derby hadn't really troubled us really, but we didn't really penetrate them, and we haven't got those players, have we? Really, when we're getting frustrated and things, and we're trying to ask for more chances and stuff, you look and who are the ones that are going to pop up and score the goals, because we just haven't got those players, have we? We always look into Barry Bannon, aren't we? Every single time.
Yeah. And you can't do it every week. He's getting on now. What is he, 34, 35 now, Baz?
36, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We can't rely on that guy anymore. What we're going to do next season when it comes to it, when Baz can't, not going to be able to. You know what I mean? And then we've got, on top of it, the best of three evils, so to speak.
Yeah, what do you make to them? What do you make to them three people that are potentially in the running? Look, for those listening and everything, there could be someone else, but these are the three that we publicly know of. There could be people waiting in the wings, of course, that haven't put the name out there. But yeah, what do you make to them three names?
Well, I wouldn't want the guy who plays FIFA, how he does his team, the Sheffield United guy.
James Board.
Yeah, that one. And I listened to Matt last night, and Mike Ashley scares me now as a guy. I wouldn't like to meet him.
Yeah.
Never mind having him as chairman.
Yeah, exactly. That. Yeah, I think a lot of people have perhaps had that thought, having heard. I must admit, it was something that I was kind of unaware of. I knew about him at Newcastle. My take on it all was, as long as he puts us in a better position, and as long as the next sale of the club is pain free, then for me, I'm not. A lot of people getting hung up on like people doing things for personal gain and making money out of us and things like that. But yeah, that is my kind of counter argument to that. Is what's the point? It's not a charity. You don't buy a football
and say, you know what, I'll buy you for 30 million and sell you for 25. Go on, I'm all right. No chance.
Yeah, and if he wants to flip us and make a few quid, look, I don't know all the ins and outs of all the stuff behind the scenes and how much that's going to cost to get us to that stage and X, Y, and Z. I've never owned a football club in my life. I have no idea how that all works, but I'm sure he's crunching the numbers, and if he feels like he can do that, then yeah, I mean, I am just so thankful that he's not there, our previous owner. To
$1,000,000%.
Like that.
Like you said last night, we would have took Mike Ashley in a heartbeat 3-4 months ago. We would have. Yeah. And now we're kind of nitpicking on every little bit, this, that, and the other. If we get a good owner, even if it's a guy that flips us, then so be it. As long as he leaves us in a better place for the next person to take us on, and we move forward. That's all that matters as a team, as a club, as a fan base.
I suppose that the frustrations are that we're talking now about kind of £30 million or something to buy the football club. I suppose maybe a stumbling block is that people don't think that the football club is worth 30 million, and I probably have to agree. Really, like, we've got a stadium that needs a lot of work doing to it. I don't know how many millions needs doing to that. I know people say, well, we're going to move stadiums, but that North Stand needs work doing to it. It only just got a safety certificate. That needs some serious work doing to it to, for it to be there still in 5 or 10 years time or whatever. And then we've got a squad that needs, we need players to. We need a whole new squad in the summer. We need to sign players. I know we can get rid of some that might be on some decent wages and stuff, but that's going to cost a bit. But the frustrating thing for me is all this could have been sorted. I don't know, months ago, and he perhaps wouldn't have owed as much money as what he does.
No, totally true.
And then we wouldn't be in this situation where if it is 20, again, I don't know all the ins and outs, but if it's 25 pence in the pound, I know not every single creditor is entitled to that, but let's just use that as an example. That's what, 120 million pounds worth of debt, including the money that he's owed to himself. That value might have been a lot less, and we might not have needed to be looking for a sale value of 30 million. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of talk. There's
variations to it and stuff like. I think like that's kind of scary. I know we're going back regressing there, but why wouldn't he let go of the reins and sold it for whatever? But I know we don't want to go back there and then talk about the.
Yeah, let's look ahead to the future, Matt. I suppose is what we want to try and do.
1,000,000%.
Although we do that, and then we look at if we look at the immediate future, we look at Ipswich at this weekend. I was looking at the players that we've got available for Saturday. Charles, Iofa, Cooper, Max Lowe, Amass, Ingleson, Bannon, Jamal Lowe, McNeil, Cadamartre, Brown, he's returning from injury, Ugbo, Shalabar returning from injury, Otugbeyo, Bannon's half injured as well, and then Palmer, I believe he was ill. He was on the bench, but he was ill on Monday, so he's, not probably going to be 100%. That's 15 players there. I know we've got some of the youngsters. All right, Horvath as well, but he's not really going to make much of a difference, is he? Really is a second goalkeeper.
Not at all.
We've got some of those. When you look at Brown, when you look at Amass, Charles, all youngsters in there. We haven't got many senior professionals in that side and available, have we, anymore?
None at all, no. None at all. And like I said, we're threadbare. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Threadbare. Yes, I'll say it for you, Matt. It's fine.
It's me too. I've been dentist. But yeah, we are light, so light, and people say change this, change that. You can't. All they can change really is the strikers, and obviously for Sia, he's got to be changed because he's gone to AFCON. So
yeah, who do you think comes in to replace him, Matt, on Saturday?
Oh God, he's got Palmer maybe or Chalabar. Yeah. Got to be one of them, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you'd think Palmer if he's fit enough, and that would be kind of like for like, unless they go to a back four. And maybe put Dom Iofa out on the right hand side, and maybe I really don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. To be fair, but that would mean them playing Max Lowe alongside Cooper. Maybe they bring Otugbeyo. Look, Who knows, Matt? Literally, who knows? Might as well roll the dice and just see what.
Definitely, 1,000,000%, mate, 1,000,000%.
And see what happens.
Definitely.
Matt, I'm going to move on, but massive thanks for coming on, pal. Really.
Before I go,
yeah, of course.
Can I just plug my group?
Yes,
WAWAW.
Yes, you can, mate. WAWAW on Facebook. Go and find it.
Please join. We have a free preview given away at the minute for nothing at all. A bottle of bubbly and a case of lager. Come over and join and just have a go and win it for nothing. Because it's crap at the minute, so we're trying to make it a bit better.
Great.
Nice to speak to you, James. It's been a pleasure.
No problem, mate. Matt, thanks for coming on. Do really appreciate it as always. Yeah, go and join his Facebook group if you're one that goes over on Facebook. I think he's got about 6,500, 7,000 people, members in that group. So yeah, go and join it. Right, let's. I'll come to Mark in a second. I'm just going to read some more comments out. Adam asks, can we play all our goalies in the net at once? What, all two of them? Or do you mean all the youngsters as well? Yeah, maybe. Steve says, watching Wednesday right now is very much like pulling teeth. It's like death by 1,000 paper cuts. Yeah, I was absolutely livid on Monday. Honestly, that I was. Yeah, I saw red mist big time. For me, we've already talked about it. It was just the lack of application by the players, a lack of creativity. I felt like they were all playing on 70-75%. Now, we're never going to know this, but it'd be very interesting to know whether that has been an instruction by Henrik Pedersen. You know, they've all got the GPS monitors on. He's very much stats driven, looking at red zone and stuff like that. The fact that we've got only the players that I just mentioned there, I don't know whether he's kind of asking them not to overexert themselves. So I didn't see any of that at all on Monday. You know, he didn't want any more injuries, but the problem with that is, it's very difficult just to kind of, how do you play at 75%? You know, it's either 100 or nothing in it really. And I just felt that they weren't really trying on Monday, and that was the most frustrating thing. And then of course you've got the Derby fans that were, got under my skin a little bit. And yeah, once the first goal went in, you could see it from a mile off. Derby didn't have to play that well to beat us. They stood off us. I saw people saying that they were pressing us. They didn't press us. They set a trap. That's what they did. They set traps and we just fell straight into them. They let us have the ball. They knew we couldn't do anything with it. We got, Max Lowe, Cooper, Dom Iorfa. None of those are going to pick out a good pass. That's probably why we went straight through to Charles. Even Charles, did his best efforts to gift them a goal at times as well. Barry Bannon, I think he got frustrated at moments. I've already spoken about Jamal Lowe. Ingleson had an off day. His running around was largely ineffective. We weren't closing players down. So the one thing that Kadamachi has been quite good at is closing the players down from the front and starting that press. We didn't have any sort of press whatsoever because we weren't really trying. So it literally, we were like going through the motions. It's almost like we just knew we were going to lose that game. And I spoke to the Derby fan beforehand, and he said, "Yeah, we'll just let you have the ball, and we don't have much possession, and we catch teams on the counter." Literally, that was a Derby fan telling me that, and that is exactly how they played. And I know we're at home, but they had a big following. Like if we'd just give them the ball and let them try and do something with it, and then maybe we can play them at their own game. But we didn't. We fell into the trap. We had all the possession, did nothing with it, gave it them back, and then conceded three goals. And I think Sean Fazier's still sliding on his way to Morocco, I think, after that third goal went in. Right, let's come to Mark then, if he's still there. Mark, how's it going, mate? You all right?
Yeah, hello, mate. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you very much. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Struggling a little bit after Monday night, obviously, as everybody is. I actually went upstairs about 9:20. I just couldn't handle it anymore, and I always finish the games, and I just couldn't. One of those games. Do you know what, James? I'm actually worried for next season as well. Yeah, it's another point of view that I don't think many people have actually said tonight, that I'm actually worried about next season. In terms of what, like the squad and things like that? Yeah, our squad and players coming through, and just looking at what we have. I mean, whoever comes in, There's going to have to be some mass recruitment going on because we're going to struggle in League One. I think, a lot of people probably think that we're going to go straight back up again next season. But I'm telling you what, I'm really worried now for next season as well.
Yeah, because I said I saw red mist on Monday. I walked out and I just I've calmed down a little bit now, but I was like, I just said a lot of them could just go for me, like every single one of them, because it's an interesting point. Getting a beat as many times as we have done already, we're not even halfway through the season. Let's not forget, like we've got a lot of pain coming as well before the end. I know we might have new owners and things, but I can't really see much changing because there's not really much point. There's gonna be a lot. These players are gonna have that losing mentality every single week, just defeat after defeat after defeat, and how do you recover from that? And there's that element of let's just clear the decks and let's just get some other players in that do actually want to play for. I'm not saying they don't want to play for us, but just some new players.
Yeah, but sometimes they don't look like they do, James. Do they? There's what frustrates me the most at this point is some of the senior players that are just useless. And I don't like slagging off the team as much as anybody else, but when you watch that and you think some of those senior players that need to be bringing on those young players don't put a shift in. I mean, bringing on George Brown instead of Ugbo at the weekend.
Yeah,
it's like that shouldn't be happening. That should not be happening, but it is, because George Brown at the minute is better than Ugbo. And we paid 2.7 million for him, and it's a ridiculous state to be in. And I get to watch all the games, and I was gutted when we played Watford, and obviously with another last minute equaliser. I mean that's demoralising straight away. But you would think that they would be able to pick themselves up and play at least at home against the Derby side. That they're physical and strong, but they weren't that good.
Yeah, exactly. We made them look good, but they hardly had much of the ball.
We've got no shape, James. We've got there's no, like last season we had Shay Charles in as that holding midfielder who was just he mopped everything up really. I mean he was out, but what I don't understand what formation Pedersen is playing. I don't know where Jamal Lowe is playing. I don't really know where Ingleson is playing. Barry Bannon drops too deep. I don't. The only time we've actually looked half decent is when we've played Cads and Brown up front as a two.
Yeah.
But I know that that's not been possible because obviously Brown's been injured. But why can't he try the two up front? Because I don't know where. I mean, to correct me if I'm wrong. Where is Jamal Lowe playing? I don't understand that position.
He's not playing as a striker, is he? He's playing as I don't know. Is he like?
Yeah, where? Where?
I know. It's difficult, isn't it? There were points on Monday where he were back in the back three, like he were in defence, and I'm thinking, what are you doing there? Like I know it's going wrong, but you have to stick to the shape that you've got. You've got to be in the positions to pick the ball up. But he's just devoid of all confidence whatsoever. I mean,
yeah, but what shape is it? What actual shape is it? This is what I where's McNeil playing? I mean, I really like Charlie. I think he's going to be brilliant for us next season if we can hold on to him. But but how many attacking midfielders are you going to play in that centre? Inglerson's not a defensive midfielder. Baz isn't either. Jamal Lowe, I don't understand where he's playing.
Well, look, I'm just looking at the touches that Jamal Lowe had. He had 17 touches on Monday. The vast majority of them were kind of on the left and in the centre circle. He didn't have any touches in, I want to say, I mean, I can't really tell, kind of in the final third, basically. All his touches came in the central third and even in our box. I mean, Cadamarchi fared a little bit better. His were more, he only had 12 touches of the ball, though, but, I felt
sorry for Cads. I felt, that playing that lone striker against all those two centre backs. He's a young lad. you know, he's not a Michael. Everybody, you know, used to slate Smudgy, but I mean, if you played Smudge this season, I mean, we would look a lot better.
Well, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, he's a focal point. He's a player to hit. When you're playing a striker and you're going long to him, and he didn't win any of the headers, something's going wrong there, and he needs the ball to feet. But then we can't get the ball to feet because we haven't got the midfield to play. We haven't got the players to play through. People are just you're right that the shape is all over the place. I mean, when Shalabar came on, he pushed both Bannon and Ingleson forward, and rather than having kind of two in that holding midfield role, he was playing the anchor, and they were playing further forward. I mean, that didn't go down too well, did it? Because his first touch were absolutely terrible.
But you're bringing on a player that's been injured, and asking him to go straight into that defensive midfield role. He's not going to be up to it. You know, I know that Pedersen's doing the best job he can, and he's got no players, but I just on Monday I couldn't work out what he was doing. I just couldn't, and that's worrying for me.
Yeah,
I think.
I'm just looking now. The last 2 games we've had 7 shots, and just we've had 2 on target, which is just so poor. I mean, we did have 11 against Preston and 11 against Millwall, 4 and 3 shots on target. The United game we had 5, no shots on target. Norwich and Southampton were slightly better, but you know we've managed 5 shots on target in. Let me have a look. I think this even includes. Does it include cup games? This, yeah, but none of them there in 5 games this season. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and when you're conceding as many goals as what we are, like, you're making it hard for yourself, are you? To be fair, like we're just not creating enough opportunities. And the XG, we've had an XG of over 1 once since Southampton. So Southampton, United, Millwall, Preston was 2.3, Watford and Derby County 0.1 expected goals at home. It's just I don't know what happens. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what to do. It's horrible.
I was just thinking the same thing. I don't know what the answer is. I don't think Pedersen knows either, because I don't think there is one. I think when you, unfortunately, as we've gone through this thousands of times, when you strip a club of so many first team players, you know, and you bring in nobody apart from Harry, Amass has been brilliant this season. You can't slate him at all, you know. And it's like, what can you do? What do we all expect, really? I think, you know.
What do you think we do in January then? Like, so say new owners or not. I think, me personally, there's a part of me that thinks it's pointless.
It's pointless.
But do you think we need Horvath will go back, I guess. We'll probably fill that other goalkeeper slot with one of the youngsters.
Yeah.
If Piers Charles is still here, Amass looks like he's going back. So we really. I mean, I know you can sign more than 5 loans, but it would make no sense to do that because you can only use 5 in your matchday squad. For me, we need to go out there and sign 5 players on loan, because we'll just guarantee them. We can just say to the team, he will play every week. Because we haven't got anyone else, or he'll play at least 80% of all the minutes that are available. And I think we just need to go out there and get whoever we can. You know, that young, was it Heskey? Jaden Heskey, was it, from Man City?
Yeah, from Man City.
Players like that who looked like they were on the door to come in. My understanding is I don't think any of them went anywhere. Those that were rumoured to come, just fill the squad with those, and let's just, you know. I know people will be saying, yeah, but what's the point in playing players that aren't yours? But
yeah, but what's the point of getting in players like panic buying or getting all these freebies in that haven't played, that have not been at a club, and we're bringing them in, and I don't see the point. We need to just forget, but like you say, loan players in January, and then build the recruitment. You know, get some good freebies in, and just build the squad again. There's no point in panic buying in January, because we're down. We are gone.
Craig says January need to get 2 or 3 to tide us over, but they can do a job in League One. The problem is, Craig, like, and Matt, you can come in on this as well. Like, there isn't who's going to be available that's a good League One player in January. The January market is very tough. It's players that are out of favour, or players that are doing well, and then they attract quite a high ticket price because they've already got form in that season, so people buy them and then hoping that form continues. Very difficult to sign players in January, I find, and who's going to come?
Well,
who's going to come to
who's
going to come to a team? Yeah, who's going to come to a side that's getting slapped every week? All right, I know we nearly beat Watford. We came close against Preston. It almost feels like the energy that we've exerted in those 2 games has had a detrimental effect. And then you've got AFCON as well. You know, I think there's only two sides in the Championship that have got 2 players going to AFCON. Obviously, we're one of them. I think Watford is the other.
Surprise, eh?
Yeah, some have none. Some have none that are going in. So a club that has no players, and now 2 of them have
and I think Sean's
been
actually playing really well as well. I think he's for me, he's definitely grown in the last sort of 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, but he can't take a man on though, can he? As well, Mark.
No.
If anyone's,
I think they're all afraid, James.
Yeah,
I think they're just afraid. I think they just it's not going for us, and I just think that they just don't want to. It's come to that point where it's starting to be a real problem now.
Do you think? Sorry to cut you off, Mark. Do you think some of them are looking and going, well, it's January windows in a couple of weeks' time?
Possible.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna go in for that challenge. I'm not gonna do whatever because I could be off in January. And I think every agent of all the agents of all the players that we've got will be putting their players out there just to try and get some sort of deal done.
I think the thing is that as a fan, you're lulled into a full sense of security that these players, it's their job.
Yeah. And
not being funny, if you get offered more money somewhere else, you're going to go.
Well, not even that. If it's just better. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you might love the people that you work with, but I mean, my previous 2 jobs, I love the people that I work with. I just hated the job, so I went somewhere else. And do you know what I mean?
Same for me in my last job. Yeah.
And there was one of them I took a wage cut because I hated it that much. And that is the same scenario. They like playing football, but it's horrible to play at Hillsborough at the moment.
Well,
that's not a dig at the fans.
Well, nobody wants to get spanked every week, do they? We've all been there at some point playing local leagues and whatever, and we've all been in that situation. Unless you're very lucky to have been playing in brilliant teams, you've all been spanked week in, week out for a certain amount of time, and it's not nice.
Mark, I don't know if you play Football Manager or not, but you lose 2 or 3 games. And
I haven't got the new one yet.
But you play it, you lose 2 or 3 games, and you shut the lid and go, I'm not playing that anymore. And you come back to it later, don't you? If you win a few games, if you win in a few games, you're on it until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And you're like, oh shit! Like, look at the time.
Yeah, been there, done that.
Same thing. It's the same thing, isn't it? Like, if it's not
it is.
The only problem we've got is as a fan, like, you can't really do that. You can't just. Well, I'd like to think people don't just walk away from the football club and stuff. But that is just the sorry side that we have.
Our fan base is one of the best, mate, and I think from what everybody's going through this, and it's just sometimes you just don't want to watch it. that's the bottom line in it. Sometimes you just go, do you know what, I'm going to bed, or I'm going to do something else, because you just can't put up with that level of. You see them just their edge dropped, and they're not putting in the effort, and they're not putting in the tackle, and you just go, I'm going to go and watch something else. I'm going to do something else, because it does get to that. But we're all, we all support them, we're all behind them. But I think for me at the minute, this is just dragging on and dragging on. We need to know who the new owners are going to be. We need a plan, and we need, and like I say, because I am shitting a brick for next season.
Yeah. Look, it's a great point to make. We'll have to see what happens. Mark, I'm going to leave it there because we are running out of time. But Mark,
no worries. Nice to speak to you.
Yeah, great. Massive thanks for coming on. Really do appreciate it as always.
No worries.
As I do everyone that takes the time to come on the podcast on a Wednesday evening. Just want to say as well, if it is your first time listening to this show, then join us next. No, don't join us next week. 'Cause it's Christmas Eve, isn't it? Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. There might be one on Tuesday night. We'll see how we'll see what happens over the weekend, because there might be some developments happening in the next couple of days. I don't know anything for the record. I haven't got a clue what is happening. Just going off what Alex Miller has said, but something might be happening before Christmas. So yeah, just make sure you subscribe to us if you're not already, and then you'll be alerted. Hit the bell and you'll be alerted as soon as we go live or any new shows are on. I think Sunday's show is going to be Monday this week or this weekend, just because I'm off to the Yorkshire thing at Doncaster. They've got the light show on, taking the family there, so I don't think I'll be back. So we're going to do that show on Monday evening, so do make sure you join us on Monday. But no, thank you very much everyone for joining this evening. Do really appreciate it. Joel, massive thanks for the super chat. Do really appreciate it. Craig says you're killing my OCD here, what with the different days and stuff. It's Christmas, innit? It's all up in the air. Matt says what, no Christmas Eve booze upstream. Steve, go on. Let's get one on Tuesday. All right, I'll do. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. Craig, no, we want you to commit to the pattern. Christmas Eve it is. That'll be Christmas Eve, and then that'll mean it's New Year's Eve as well, which is the wife's birthday on New Year's Eve. So look, it's quite accommodating, but I don't think I could get that one through New Year's Eve. To be honest, that could be also another drunk stream. I say another. I've not done one yet, but we were talking about Friday could be one if the news comes out on Friday. But anyway, no. Right, I'm rambling now. Thank you very much, everyone. Make sure you subscribe. Do appreciate everyone, and we'll see you all next time. Cheers.